Kevin Elmy of Friendly Acres Seed Farm, and tell me a bit about how the grazing corn did this year in your neck of the woods.
Well, where we can seed it, that was the first challenge. So it was on June the 2nd, I think the first Friday of June was when we went out and we actually got it seeded. And out of my 40-acre field, I got about 6 acres of that seeded to corn because the rest of it just went underwater. So the stuff that we seeded, it was on alfalfa breaking. We ended up putting 3 gallons of alpine plant food down with it, with our planter, and tried keeping it clean. We got it sprayed once, and we did some yield data off of it on October the 4th, if memory serves me correct, the first Monday of October. I got the feed test back, and the feed test and the tonnage was actually surprisingly good. We averaged 4.66 dry tons per acre, which worked out to about 13 wet tons per acre, which you work the numbers out on 35 pounds of dry matter per day, works out to about 300 grazing days an acre. So the economics of it still worked out pretty good.
Good. Now, do cows graze corn relatively easily? Do you have to kind of teach them to do it? Do you need extensive hot water systems? How have you kind of rolled it out on your farm?
How we've been working it is, what we do is we grow about 16 to 20 varieties side by side, because what we want to do is for our seed customers be able to offer them varieties that the cows will consistently eat. They grow well, they produce good tons and palatable tons. So what we'll do is we'll cross fence going across these, and the goal is to move the fence every 5 to 7 days. And whenever you get new cows in, as long as they're used to electric fence, that solves a lot of the problems. Then the first paddock for new cows, what they'll do is they really won't know what they're doing. They'll wander around, they're not used to it. Once they figure out that they'll eat the cobs first, this is where the variety selection makes a major impact on how they graze. If you have a grain variety that produces too much grain, the cows will then eat cobs first and has the chance of overloading on grain. So going with late maturing varieties into that late blister to late milk stage is kind of where you want to be for staging, and the cows do wonderful on it. So when we're doing variety selection, what we're aiming for is having at least 2 varieties in our fields. The top variety is into that, it isn't into the dent stage yet, it's in that early dough stage. We want to have 1/3 of the field as that kind of stage. The rest of it, and that, well, I guess to take a step back, that maturity is going to correspond to what you normally get for corn heat units. The bottom cob is in that late blister stage, and we'll put 2/3 of the acres into that variety. What that's going to do is reduce the risk of grain overload. It's going to increase the protein of your feed, and what's going to happen is the cow's going to clean it up a lot better. It's going to give you more tons potential. It's going to reduce your risk for grain overload. So
even in winter, if we have lots of snow, they're going to dig through it and they're going to clean up that field?
Most of the time they don't have to dig, because most of the snow in the field gets caught in the north and west sides of the fields. It stays nice and loose. The cows, because there's corn in there, will go in after it, and we'll eat the snowbank and the rest of the snow. If it turns out that we get weather like we are right now with freezing rain outside and it crusts over, well, guess what? In the spring, the cows will then go back out to the field and clean up whatever's left. So they do a good job of cleaning up.
Those good cows.
Oh, good cows. Happy cows.
Hey,
and they keep saying that they want more.
That's fantastic. That's staying in there.